This video is me turning tomato seeds into tomato plants, into tomatoes, and then in the end turning it into a nice tomato sauce which I can use during the winter or for cool Italian cuisine. It's also about all the hiccups I had along the way. We had a storm which made them all tip over and all sorts of stuff. It took me half a year to make the video and I really hope you enjoy it. I want to try to grow some tomatoes from seed. One of the benefits of living in Italy, in contrast to Denmark, is that you can actually have your tomato plants outside. With the best tomatoes I've had during our time here in Italy, I've taken the seeds out and I want to see if I can sprout these. Well, if this is all tomato seeds, they are very quick to sprout, and I have success on my first trial. It's only 5 days ago that I planted them or something like that. Look how big they are and pretty. These are gonna make nice Italian tomatoes in the summer. We'll see if it's tomatoes. It could be some other sorts of seed. In the soil left over, because it's reused soil from old bonsai repottings. I'm testing all sorts of different soil combinations, cheap ones. I just pick up soil from the ground and mix it with sphagnum moss and some old regular gardening soil that I had lying around from old pots, just to see what works out and which tomatoes give the best. We'll find out later in this video. now all the pots are prepared for the repotting of these tomatoes. The reason I'm doing it now is that the oldest ones in this seeding tray is starting to look decolored and not so fresh. So I think repotting every single seed into its own pot is going to be very beneficial and promote actual survival of these tomato sprouts. So that's what we're doing. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, they are very close to each other here. That's it, and hopefully in some months we'll have tomatoes grown from seed. This is how the tomatoes are currently looking. It's been like 3-4 months since I put the seeds in the ground, and they're not as far as I'd hoped for, but we've just had, all the rain in Italy. It's been terrible, especially in Emilia Romagna, but now we're finally having good weather, and I think the sun will help them get even bigger. And then in the late summer we'll hopefully have some homegrown tomatoes, which is gonna be nice. Just wanted to show how far they've come. Sort of a midway status. This is how far my tomato plant has come now from seeds, and I feel it's time to pot them in a bigger pot so that they have better growth and more tomatoes for me and Stine. I've read and seen on YouTube these small hairs on the trunk of these tomato plants are potential new roots, so you want to repot them even deeper in the ground when you have a chance to repot them. So that's what I'm gonna try to achieve in my bigger pot here. Oh, shit. And here in these 3 big pots, I potted like 12 tomatoes, which I did. I potted several in different pots because I wanted to be sure that at least one survived. But I just want a single strong one in each pot so they don't take energy from each other. That's why I'm gonna cut 3 of them off or 2 of them off, depending on how many is in the pot. It's gonna seem like a shame, but I need to do it. So now I just need the hard part to choose which ones is gonna survive. Tough life of a tomato farmer. I suddenly have a lot of tomatoes in small pots, and these pots I think are too small, so I'm gonna just try to repot them out here along our wall, and then hopefully make a lot of tomato sauce with the leftover tomatoes we can use and eat fresh to build up a free supply of food. And it's fun. Så ligesom man laver en gang, men jeg synes også det er hyggeligt, når vi lige får sendt en snap til hinanden. This is the last pot I want to split up of my tomato plants. And later on in this video I'm gonna make sticks of bamboo for the tomato plants to grow up so they don't bend over when the weight of the tomatoes starts coming on. But that's a bit later. Now they'll just need to grow a bit more. Once again, I'm working on my tomatoes. I'm gonna build something from bamboo for them to crawl up so they don't fall together with the weight of the tomatoes. So my tomatoes has come this far that they've started to have flowers, and some of them are starting to hang a little bit by the weight of themselves. So I want to build them a stand so that I can tie them up to, and they'll be even heavier once they start to have the fruit. So I need to do something. Might as well be ready for it. Currently I have the same issue as I did when I tried to make my bread baskets. The bamboo isn't as bendable as you might like it to, but instead of putting them in the bathtub, I'm gonna put it in the little creek down the mountain, which will be a lot easier because I don't have to force it down into the bathtub. So that's the solution to my problems, I think. Definitely more bendable. Our tomato plants has really picked up the growing speed, and therefore I need to tie them up so they don't fall over. And I'm just using wire and then drilling in these bamboo sticks. And I've even started getting tomatoes on the plants. Now they just need to ripe. I just thought I only had one kind of tomatoes, this black one we bought on the market, which I took some seeds from, but it turns out we have others as well. Because I took seeds of plenty of different plants, but I thought that only one of them sprouted, but it seems that there are different kinds now, which is exciting. Done for this time. Hopefully next little part of this video is gonna be me picking some nice tomatoes. I feel like the leaves on my tomatoes here are a little pale on some of them, so I'm just gonna give them some extra fertilizer. I just read up upon it, because if they need to produce these amazing big tomatoes, they need a lot of fertilizer and a lot of food, so I'm just gonna give them quite a lot. I just want to make a little update on our garden here. We just had a terrible cyclone, or whatever you call it, with very terribly tough winds with up to 150 meters per second, some neighbor said, but I don't know if it's true. And I should have filmed it, as always. I'm just a beginner in this YouTube thing, but all the tomatoes had fallen down, and all sorts of branches have snapped on my bonsai trees, which is not very nice. Gives the opportunity to start over on some trees which I didn't really plan for, but it is what it is. Right now I'm just securing the tomatoes, so if we get another summer storm here, they won't fall down like they just did. I lost some tomatoes, but some of them are still on my plants, and I think they're going to be okay, but I don't want it to happen again, so I want to secure it to the house. And I already made this triangle on the tomatoes, which has stabilized them a bit, but I want to do better. ultimate test of my creation. I mean, would you look at that stability? So this is, I think it's gonna be one of the last clips of this video. I'm gonna pick some of the tomatoes I made from seed. As you can see in the beginning of this video, I'm gonna pick them and I'm gonna make succo di pomodori. In English, tomato juice or sauce for cooking. And one of the dreams with this channel and us buying a bed and breakfast, us buying an old stone house and renovating and turning into a bed and breakfast, is also being self-sufficient and making vegetables without pesticides and making it enough so we can make it through the winter and like getting closer to nature. So yeah, this is a long video I've been making for over a half a year. I started sprouting the tomatoes back in February and it's now halfway through, halfway through August, and I can begin to harvest. The thing is, there's also a lot of green tomatoes left on the plants, so I'm gonna have to make the tomato sauce on and on. I cannot make it all, as you see in the cool Italian videos, in one time. I have to make them over time, but that's part of the process as well, and it's pretty cool. So now I've just gotta have to pick them. And also, I don't know if this species is the correct one. I think the plum tomatoes are supposed to be the best ones to make tomato sauce with, but we just bought these at the local market, which is every Tuesday, and we really like the tomatoes, so I just took a bunch of seeds, and this is the beef tomato. I don't know if that's what it's called in English, and we also just like that. Next year I think I'll have some plum tomatoes, which are the real ones that Mutti, the famous tomato brand, is using. So there's always improvement to be made through the year and through experience here in life. Yes, and this is not a lot, but I made them myself, grew them from seed, repotted them, and then now it's these plants. It's pretty cool. They are pretty cool. And right now I'm just disinfecting the jars I'm gonna use for the tomato sauce. Now I'm just washing the tomatoes, and I'm gonna leave the skin on in this instance. It's religion to people, so I'm sorry to the people that need to peel it off, but I'm gonna boil it, I think, and I think there has to be some flavor and vitamins stuck in the skin, so I'm just gonna leave it on. I'm gonna boil it first, and then I'm just gonna take out the water, and then I'm gonna blend them to one mass, and then I'm gonna reboil them and for 20 minutes, and then fill them in these jars. And yeah, put a little bit of basil in the bottom, I think, just for extra flavor, and see how I do. I just like to try stuff, so maybe next time I'll do it differently. Don't know. So I boiled them, and now I boiled them, and then I'll put them back in the pot, and now I'm gonna blend them together to one sort of sauce. I'm gonna try to leave the skin off, as I said before, and then boil it up, and then afterwards put it in these jars. It's important to have a taste. Actually, it tastes very good of tomato. I think I'm gonna add a bit of salt. And I'm gonna add some basil leaves in the bottom of my tomato sauce here for flavor. Also homegrown, as the rest of it. Exciting. It has now been boiling for 20 minutes and I'm gonna add it to my jars. I'm a little excited. First step in being self-sufficient. Here we go. That means there's less than a liter. Well, once we actually buy a house, I'm gonna expand my operations and stuff, but this is not a big yield, but later ones will hopefully be bigger. 800 milliliters, that's not a lot. And I'm supposed to put them in a dark place now for a couple of days, and then can be stored for up to 2 years. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you found some useful information, or at least just enjoyed the process of me making tomato plants into tomato sauce. I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe to my channel. It will really help my dreams a lot. Thanks for watching.